Over 50? Let me ask you something honestly, and don't answer too fast. What do you usually do right after dinner? I mean, the moment the plate is empty, the dishes are pushed aside, and the evening finally starts to slow down. Do you sink into the couch and turn on the TV? Maybe you grab your phone and scroll through Facebook or YouTube, just for a few minutes, which somehow turns into an hour or two. Maybe you reach for a little dessert because, hey, dinner's done, and you deserve something sweet after a long day. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Millions of people over 50 do exactly the same thing every single night, and they think it's harmless. Completely normal. Just part of relaxing. But here's the uncomfortable truth most people don't realize until much later in life. Some of the most damaging habits for your health don't happen during the day. They happen quietly after dinner. And the scary part is that these habits don't feel dangerous. They feel comfortable, cozy, routine, which is exactly why they can slowly affect your body without you noticing until the consequences show up years later. I remember hearing about a man named Robert, 63 years old, retired electrician, the kind of guy who worked hard his whole life and figured retirement was finally the time to relax. Every evening he had the same routine. Dinner around 7, usually something hearty like steak, pasta, or potatoes. After that, he'd lean back in his recliner, flip on the television, and stay there for hours. Sometimes he'd snack on cookies. Sometimes ice cream. Sometimes he'd just sit there, barely moving, half watching whatever show happened to be on. To him, it felt like the perfect evening. Nothing stressful, nothing demanding, just comfort. But over time, Robert started noticing little changes. His sleep got worse. He felt heavy and sluggish in the mornings. His doctor told him his blood sugar was creeping up, his weight was slowly increasing, and his energy levels were dropping. Robert kept thinking, "I'm just getting older, that's all." And that's the phrase people say when they don't realize something in their daily routine is actually causing the problem. Because aging does bring changes, sure, but many of the struggles people blame on age are actually habits that quietly sabotage the body night after night. One of the biggest ones is what happens immediately after dinner. You see, once you pass 50, your metabolism isn't the same machine it used to be in your 30s. Your body processes food slower, your blood sugar regulation becomes more sensitive, and your muscles play a much bigger role in how efficiently your body uses energy from the food you just ate. When you finish dinner and immediately sit down for hours without moving, your muscles basically go into sleep mode. They stop helping your body process glucose. So the sugar from your meal lingers in your bloodstream longer than it should. Over months and years, that pattern can contribute to insulin resistance, weight gain around the belly, fatigue, and eventually type 2 diabetes. And here's the wild part. Something as simple as a 10-minute walk after dinner can dramatically change how your body processes that meal. Just 10 minutes. Not a gym workout. Not running. Just walking around the block. Yet most people skip it completely because sitting feels easier. And look, nobody's judging here. After a long day, relaxing sounds pretty good, but the body doesn't see it as relaxation. It sees it as stagnation. Blood circulation slows down. Digestion slows down. Energy production drops. Another thing that happens after dinner, especially when people lie back on the couch, is something millions of adults over 50 complain about: acid reflux. That burning sensation in the chest that shows up late at night. People think it's just the food they ate, but posture and movement actually play a huge role. When you sit slouched or lie down right after eating, stomach acid can travel upward more easily into the esophagus. That's when the burning feeling starts. Some people keep antacid tablets on their nightstand because of this exact habit. But what's funny is that in many cases, the real solution isn't medication. It's movement. Just staying upright, maybe walking for a bit, letting gravity and gentle activity help your digestive system do its job the way it's designed to. And then there's the late night sugar habit. Now this one is sneaky because it feels like a reward. A little treat. Maybe a cookie with tea, maybe chocolate, maybe a slice of cake someone brought over. People say, it's just a small dessert. But late at night, your body is preparing for sleep, not for processing sugar spikes. When you eat sweets late in the evening, insulin rises again. Your body stores more fat instead of burning energy, and your sleep cycle can get disrupted. You might still fall asleep, sure, but the quality of that sleep can drop without you realizing it. And sleep quality becomes incredibly important after 50. During deep sleep, your brain actually performs a kind of cleaning process where it removes waste proteins that accumulate during the day. Some scientists believe that poor sleep over many years may contribute to cognitive decline later in life. So the habits that affect sleep are not small things. They matter more than most people realize. But maybe the most common after-dinner habit today isn't dessert or sitting. It's screens. Phones, tablets, televisions glowing in dark rooms late into the night. And here's where modern life gets tricky, because those screens emit blue light, a type of light that tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime. When that happens, the body delays releasing melatonin, the hormone responsible for making you feel sleepy. Without melatonin rising at the right time, your natural sleep rhythm shifts later and later. That's why some people say they feel tired all evening, but suddenly wide awake once they climb into bed. Their brain never got the signal that night had officially begun. And over time, that pattern can turn into chronic poor sleep. What's interesting is that small changes in evening habits can make a huge difference. People who reduce screen exposure an hour before bed often notice their sleep improving within weeks. It's not some complicated medical trick. It's just giving the brain the darkness and calm environment it expects at night. Now here's the part where I want you to pause and think for a second. If you're over 50 and you look honestly at your own evenings, how many of these habits sound familiar? Sitting for long stretches after dinner, late desserts, endless scrolling on a glowing phone screen, maybe even a late glass of alcohol, thinking it helps you relax, when in reality, it might be quietly interfering with deep restorative sleep. Nobody is perfect, and honestly, that's not the point of this conversation. The point is awareness. Because once people realize how powerful their evening routine actually is, they often start making small adjustments without feeling like they're sacrificing comfort. And those little adjustments can create surprisingly big improvements in energy, digestion, sleep quality, and even mental clarity. But here's where things get really interesting, because stopping harmful habits is only half the story. In the next part, we're going to talk about what people over 50 should actually be doing after dinner if they want to support their body, protect their heart, and wake up feeling stronger the next morning. And trust me, one of those simple evening rituals might change the way you think about the hours after dinner forever. Before we continue, though, I'm curious about something. What is your personal after-dinner routine? Do you relax on the couch, take a walk, watch TV, scroll your phone, or maybe something totally different? Go ahead and share it in the comments, because it's fascinating to see how different people spend those evening hours. And sometimes just hearing other people's habits can inspire a change you didn't expect. And if you know someone over 50 who always says they feel tired, sluggish, or struggle to sleep, you might want to share this conversation with them too. Because the real problem might not be age at all. It might just be what they're doing after dinner every night without realizing the impact it has on their body. Now, picking up where we left off, let's talk about what you should be doing after dinner if you're over 50, because honestly, the difference between sitting there and moving just a little is like night and day. And most people never realize it until the results hit them in the mornings and afternoons when they feel drained, foggy, and frustrated with themselves for just getting old, which, spoiler alert, isn't always the reason. It's the habits. The quiet little routines that add up over years, decades even. And sometimes they start in your 40s and hit harder after 50. And what's amazing is how simple the fixes can be. Yet people overcomplicate them, thinking they need expensive supplements, fancy gadgets, or a personal trainer, when really all they need is awareness and tiny shifts in the hours after dinner. And one of the first things I recommend is walking. But not just any walk, make it intentional, make it mindful. Even if it's only 10 minutes around the block. Feel your legs moving, notice your breath, look at the sky, the street lights, the quiet world around you, because your body will thank you in ways that sitting never will. Your muscles start helping absorb sugar from dinner. Your heart gets a tiny workout, your digestion gets a little boost, and your brain gets a mini reset. It's honestly wild how 10 minutes can do more than hours of sitting scrolling your phone or binge watching. And speaking of phones, one habit that destroys sleep quality and quietly messes with your energy the next day is that blue light glow from endless scrolling. Social media doom scrolling. Notifications popping up, videos autoplaying. Your brain thinks it's still daytime. Melatonin production halts. And suddenly, you're lying in bed at 1 or 2 a.m., wondering why you're awake and groggy in the morning. And I know that feeling because I've seen hundreds of people say the same thing. They swear they're just old or just night owls, but really, it's screens, it's habits, it's routines. It's tiny decisions after dinner that snowball into bigger problems over time. And another thing people don't consider is stretching or gentle movement that doesn't feel like exercise. Like some shoulder rolls, gentle twists, even standing up and reaching for the ceiling a few times. Small stuff that keeps blood flowing, prevents stiffness, and signals your body that the night is winding down, but still active in the right way. And for those of you who love a little after-dinner treat, yes, you can still enjoy dessert, but here's the trick: timing and portion. And honestly, being present with it, savoring it, no multitasking. Don't scroll while eating that chocolate. Taste it, chew it, enjoy it, and then move a little afterward. Maybe even clean up the kitchen yourself. That light movement after dinner not only helps digestion, but also gives your brain that small dopamine boost. Little wins matter more than people think. And for those who enjoy a glass of wine or whiskey, I get it. Relaxing with a drink feels good. But finishing alcohol earlier in the evening, at least 2 to 3 hours before bed, makes a massive difference in sleep quality. Deep sleep, memory consolidation, and even mood the next morning. And another underrated habit is connecting with people. Talking to your spouse, family, kids, friends, sharing stories about your day, laughing, joking, reminiscing. Emotional connection before bed improves mental health and reduces stress hormones, which quietly makes your body more ready to rest. And there's something powerful about combining movement, small mindful activity, and emotional connection. It's like giving your body and mind permission to reset without drugs, without complicated rituals, just intentional, simple habits that actually stick because they're doable. And here's a little story that blew my mind. I heard from Martha. 72, widow for 5 years, she had always sat down after dinner, feeling tired, snacking, watching TV, complaining about poor sleep. And a friend suggested a new routine: 10-minute walk around her garden. A small stretch session, no phone for 30 minutes after dinner, and then a cup of herbal tea while writing in her journal. And within 2 weeks, she reported sleeping better than she had in decades, waking up with energy, memory sharper, mood lighter, and she said it felt like reclaiming her life in these simple 30 minutes. And I love that story because it proves you don't need to overhaul everything at once. Small, consistent habits can create life-changing results. And what's exciting is that you can experiment. Maybe walk 5 minutes, maybe 10, maybe 2 walks, maybe some stretching, maybe journaling, reading, or even listening to calming music. Find what works, enjoy it, make it pleasurable. Because when habits feel like punishment, nobody sticks to them. But when they feel like self-care, you look forward to them. And here's a little tip. Pairing activities can increase consistency, like walking and listening to an audiobook you love, stretching while watching a favorite show, or tea while journaling. And over time, these habits compound, like compounding interest in a bank account. Small deposits every night, not massive overhauls that fizzle. And imagine what mornings feel like after a month of this. Digestion smooth, sleep restful, energy up, mood better, brain sharper, blood sugar more stable, heart healthier, weight more manageable, and confidence boosted. Because you're taking control of the hours that often determine the next day. And the best part is, it's all natural, free, and accessible. No gimmicks, no pills, no expensive memberships. Just awareness and intentional after-dinner choices. And by now, you're probably realizing that these hours after dinner matter way more than most people give them credit for. And if you take anything from this, it's this. Don't underestimate the quiet, seemingly harmless routines, the tiny behaviors that feel cozy or normal. Because those are the ones that shape your health, sleep, energy, and happiness over years. And here's my challenge for you. Tonight, right after dinner, pause for a second. Notice what you normally do and ask yourself, is this helping me feel better tomorrow? If not, try a tiny tweak, maybe a walk, maybe stretching, maybe a digital detox, maybe journaling. Maybe a light snack enjoyed mindfully. Experiment with what feels good and sustainable. And comment below what habit you're going to start tonight. Share this with someone over 50 who needs to hear this. Because most people don't realize the quiet sabotage happening right after dinner. And together, we can make evenings a time for restoration. Not just mindless sitting, scrolling, and snagging. So start small, be consistent. And watch how your body, mind, and spirit respond. Because the tiniest changes can create the biggest transformations. And the power is literally in your hands after dinner, every single night.